What do you make of the word coming out of Vancouver
Hmm.
that they're contemplating moving Elias Linndholm to try and get Jake Gensel? They've had him for a month, and granted, it hasn't been a great month for him, but they're still a very good team. They're playoff bound, but it's amazing to think that Lindholm could potentially be on the move again. I don't know. It's just a word that's out there. It's crazy.
When I read that, I kind of chuckled, but I was like, good for Vancouver. Like you acquire guys, and if you think that in either internally that you have somebody that can play there, or if he's not a fit, if you've seen something and you're like, this guy's not the fit that we thought he was going to be, and we think Gensel, obviously Jimmy Rutherford has a long history with Gensel. It might be the cost of doing business going, we were going to move another asset. This is the guy that, is going to get it done, money in, money out. I don't know. I thought that was really weird. Now, again, how did I read that Lindholm was going to somehow end up in Boston? Did you see that?
It was going to be a three-way. I mean, this is some crazy speculation, but point being, he's a month in, and we've already heard rumors about Zadorov potentially being on the block. Like,
well,
kudos for the Canucks for being honest about what they're seeing, but also, Jesus, that's a lot of assets for two guys you don't really like. It sounds like.
Yeah, but if you end up, it's funny. It's almost like a game, like you're playing Monopoly. You're like, okay, I've got Baltic Avenue, and I just acquired them, but I'm going for Pennsylvania now. So you're like, it is moving deck chairs around, but why not be proactive? If you're having a season, and again, the cost of doing business, and now Jimmy Rutherford has always been a guy who's not been shy to swing for the fences. Now, Pittsburgh is feeling the wrath of, him emptying the cupboards.
Oh yeah.
Every deadline, going all in. I don't think, and I'm not going to take credit for it. On my show, we have a saying that you never have to apologize for winning. Like when you go all in. Jimmy Rutherford won in Pittsburgh. They are paying the price now of an aging core, empty cupboards, all of that. So that's going to take a long time to get sorted out. Jimmy Rutherford's gone. He's now trying to win in Vancouver. And it seems like he's not shy to empty the cupboards and go, okay, what do we got here? Let's continue to add. So you're right. It does sound a bit weird. I may not be my first choice to flip an asset that you just got and maybe allow him. Like I always say, sometimes it takes a guy half a season to settle into his environment, settle in with chemistry with teammates, getting to know the city. Like everything is just new to you. So you don't just hit the ground running. Lindholm's a hell of a player, but is he the guy that they want when push comes to shove? They might have somebody internally going, I really like, Pia Suter there instead of, which I don't think you'd be an upgrade, but it's like maybe he's a better fit if we can add Gensel. So that's
but he's a UFA. They're not going to keep him at the end of the year. It's about what are we doing between now and the time the cup's lifted in the air. If it's not a fit, then all right, pivot. Let's go. We got a couple days here. Boston needs a center. It feels like a long shot, but you were on here about 2 months ago, and I think the analogy you painted was Elias Lindholm was driving down Highway 2, just throwing buckets of cash out his car window. Yeah, he's still throwing that cash out the window.
God, is he ever? It's getting to the point. I wonder if he doesn't take a 1-year deal and try to pick a spot to bounce back. Like Jesus, he's 30, having a miserable year.
This is what bothers me. And I'm not his advisor. I'm not his agent. I think of guys, and we always hear these horror stories of players. This guy turned down a 6-year deal at $5 million. Who?
Klingberg in Dallas.
John Klingberg.
Like he's looking at $40 million or something. He said, "Nah, you're screwing me. I'll go sign a 1-year deal in Anaheim." He's out of the league. He'll never play again.
Same thing. Cody Franzen, I think, turned down a deal in Toronto that was like $4.5 million a year times 6, and he played one more year at like $1 million and kind of like hung around a bit. Ryan Dzingel, I believe the same thing. Ottawa had offered him. He scored 20. Ottawa had offered him like $4 or $5 million a year. I think it was a 5-year deal. Bounced around Carolina. I think he was in like Arizona or something like that. But the point being, it's how much is enough? Like that's what kind of bothers me is if you feel like you have all this leverage. I've always been, now maybe this is just me as a player. I always wanted security because I knew what I was as a player. These guys are better players and have more cachet. But at what point is enough is enough? Even if you sign a long-term deal, we see nowadays you can move deals. People just get creative. So even if he signed an extension and they wanted to move, or if he wanted to put his hand up and go, you know what, it's not for me. Can you move me out, please? And we'll figure it out. You see contracts get traded all the time. So you're right. Like, back to my analogy, guy's been throwing money out the window on Highway 2 for months now. I don't know if he'll ever get back. I hope he does for his sake, but I don't know if he will.
Well, do we believe that deal that the Flames offered was 8 times 8?
Ish. I don't know that we ever got a firm number, but that felt like the neighborhood, didn't it?
But it's ball. I mean, 64
it was
million.
Even at times it was like 9, maybe. You're like, ooh.
Well, I think that his
That's
ask
what they wanted.
We talked. The ask was 9,
which
and
no chance.
The Flames were in that 8 neighborhood. Let's call it 8. If it's 8 times 8, now you're going to the summer. You're getting 7 years max.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
it might be a start to the 6 now.
You're not getting 7 times 7 or 7 times 8 this summer. And if it was 8 times 8 and he turned that down, I don't know. Like, shame
you're looking
on
at
him.
20+ million here, guys.
If he gets the long-term deal. If he can even get the long-term deal and play better.
If he doesn't have to adjust to get anybody,
Now, you hope you go on and you have success and it's a better story. But right now, it's kind of in the downtrend. It just doesn't look good. And now, if he plays better in Vancouver and goes on, great. If he ends up getting traded to a team like Boston, that they're a damn good team too. So maybe has some success and hits that free agent market if he runs. But right now, it is a downtrend for him. So for me, I'd be like, I would have taken the 8 times 8 every day of the week and just move on with life.
Hey guys, thanks for watching. Be sure to check out more of our content right here on the Flames Nation YouTube page. We had a bunch of great long form interviews. You can check out some videos we've done as well outside of the studio. And of course, if you want more writing or merchandise stuff, flamesnation.ca or nationgear.ca. Appreciate you watching.